Welcome back to the channel, guys. Well, we're looking at some jackknives for Way Back Wednesday. I think you guys might enjoy this one. We're looking at a pair of knives that were sent to the channel by a friend of the channel. He had a couple of duplicates in his collection and said, "Do you like jackknives? Would you like a couple?" And I was like, "Yeah, that would be very kind. Thank you." And so he sent them to me. He said he wanted no credit or anything, so we'll respect his wishes. This has been a video that's been a long time in the making. I was trying to do a lot of research on these guys. And actually, I reached out to another channel. I was talking to Michael at Rasputin's Castle, and we went back and forth. And he said, "Yeah, definitely make a video about these." And of course, like a lot of things that just get set off to the side and other things happen and you're like, oh yeah, I really need to get back and do that video. And I know you other YouTubers totally get that, but I think you guys are going to like this one. So what we have here is we have a couple of knives. One is a Colonial and one is a sharp knife. And so this first one, if you'll notice, it has shell covers on it. So this knife here, the main blade is in the back. So you have your pen blade, and then you have a nail nick that is forward. And you see by the tank stamp, this was made by Colonial. Now these knives uh, were basically, they're very cheaply made. You can really feel the stepping. These were just, whatever bargain basement type knives. These were just, sold to get out the door as quick as possible. But it's still a good usable knife. Now, they're made of some, I'm thinking stainless steel. I don't know. Probably a 440. They don't really say on here. Uh, this has the patent number on there. But these knives here were made between 1965 and 1975. So they both have kind of a fake stag look. This one doesn't even really sit right because it is so oval. If you can see on the sides, I mean, it just really was made as a working knife. It will sit that way. Now the sharp actually is made a little bit better. It's still, you can still feel all the springs have a different feel to them, and they all have brass liners. You can see that on this guy too. Well, actually, I think these might be steel liners. Uh, now that I look at it a little bit better, but you can see pretty much how the construction is. These guys were just taking these out and doing as many as possible. But this is the sharp. So this one, it does say USA, but what's funny about it is that we're suspecting, because Sharp imported a lot of knives into the US, that this is basically US parts that were assembled in Japan and then sent back over to the US. But that's something that we are just thinking, Michael and myself may have happened. But it's a very usable knife, really good condition for a knife of that era. So basically, we're looking at some stuff. One of the things that Michael said is he thought that possibly Schrade was an OEM for some of these. Now, I have a Schrade old timer jackknife. This is the 33 OT, and we'll compare it to those other ones. This 33 OT is slightly shorter. So these guys here are both 3 3/8 inch closed. The old timer's 3 1/4. They both have the same size blades if you count the cutting edge. They're 2 1/8. But because if you notice how much more kick that they give on this blade, so when you hold them next to each other, if you were to look at them, you'd say, wow, that old timer might be a little bit bigger of a knife. But actually, when you look at the bodies, this is curved outwards, but you can see that, this is slightly longer by 1/8. But then if you match the cutting edge to the cutting edge, the blades are the same size. They just have a much bigger kick area here on the old timer. Completely different shaped clip blade on it. And one of the things that I found interesting on this knife is that they only have a partial liner in the center. I'm guessing they did that for cost savings, not for weight savings. This knife actually weighs 1.7 ounces, and these both weigh 1.6 ounces. So even though they have, full liners all the way down on, all sides, it didn't really do any kind of a weight saving. So I'm guessing they just wanted to save the cost of the brass itself. Now, also another thing is how unique this pen is for the old timer. I mean, it's one of those broomstick pens that very much not my favorite style of pen blade, but on these guys, they have a much more substantial blade, and it actually, I think, looks much nicer. So I don't think Schrade had anything to do with these particular knives or manufacturers. We'll look at the clip point blades. They are slightly different. This one, I think, kind of more of a, I guess, a Turkish or a skinning clip. This one too, they kind of come down a little bit, but they're not a severe clip. And what I don't really mean severe, but what I mean by a what you think of when you see a clip point is you're really looking at that, where it really looks, where it's dipping down. I think that's more of your standard clip point. And the other ones are more of the skinning type blades, or a Turkish clip, so they are kind of coming down in the front. They're not, I'll go ahead and leave this guy out. They're not as pronounced of a clip there. But of course, if we're going to talk about jackknives, I got to go ahead and get the case in there also. This is my 087 case jackknife. This is one that I got from Shepherd Hills, and this one has the really nice CV steel. So there you go. Here's the tang stamp if you want to see that. So the difference really between this and the other ones is with the case, you do get a decent pen blade also. But if you notice, you have your nail nick here on the show side, and this has a nail nick on the pile side for your secondary blade. And the main blade is on the show side. What do I got there? Got some little piece of something. Oh well, we'll get that after the video. Whereas on both of the Colonial and the Sharp, the main blade is behind, kind of like how on a Barlow a lot of times. The main blade is behind, and the pen blade is in the front. And then with the Schrade, it's the same way with the main blade in the back, but see, you get a little easy open notch for your pen blade. So that's kind of a unique difference there. But jackknives are, really, really kind of cool. And I thought that this case belonged in this grouping because it's the same size, being 3 3/8 closed, and with a 2 1/8 inch blade, 1.5 inch on the pen. And this guy actually was the heaviest, but I think it's because he has bone covers. He was 1.8 ounces. So all of these are very, very pocketable, a very good size knife. One that's really interesting, but yeah, these guys, if you have any information on Colonial knives or Sharp made knives, it's kind of interesting thing. And this is what makes knife collecting fun, is you get these old guys that, who knows where they've been, where they were even made. Knife manufacturing history is cloudy at best. It's just really kind of a fun hobby. as you guys know. All right, well, that's it for Way Back Wednesday. Thank you, Rick at Warthog, for making this great open tag. And we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you guys later.